I am ranking all 82 maps that comes with Cities Skylines. This episode is Base Game Part 1. This series is tournament style with the best map from each DLC sent to the final round to determine which map is truly the best map in Cities Skylines. Here's the point breakdown. Transportation accounts for 4 points with highways, railroads, shipping, and airports counting for 1 point each. Resources are worth 2 points, half a point for each type of resource. How the map looks is worth 3 points, and personal preferences account for 1 point. The maximum any map can score is 10 points. The first map is Black Woods. I'm gonna admit it right now, I'm very biased towards this map because this is one of the first cities I ever built on this map. But the highways start out pretty terribly. Oh my god, they start out awful. Back when this game came out, everything was so new, everything was so great. I didn't realize how bad it really was. Pretty steep over here. It's not bad, they actually did a good job here, but it's really steep over there. Yeah, you just didn't realize back then how bad some of this was. I don't like that. It's not horrible over here. We'll come along this way, it's a bit bumpy. And then it's just a big bridge over here. A bumpy bridge. Oh my gosh. Terrible interchange. Oh, that looks ugly. And back over this way. A little bit strange. It's not the worst highway I've ever seen, but it's not great. I'm not gonna lie. This is not a great highway. Railroads start out okay, but they are a little bit steep. And it comes down this way, it gets really steep over here, so that's not awesome. Bumpy as well. Big bumps. Big bumps. That just goes off into sunset. Pretty bumpy over there. This is pretty bumpy. Oh my goodness. That's all steep. Comes over here. Wow. Pretty steep. That's pretty dumb. That just goes off into oblivion. Looks pretty good over there. Yeah, the railroads aren't great, but they're not the worst I've ever seen. Well, you got one shipping route kind of coming through the middle here, and you can at least access it from your first tile, which is pretty good. And you can get a lot of it, so that's nice too. There are places you can build your airport, but it is a little bit challenging, so I say this is pretty average. Resources are pretty solid. You can get a lot of your resources pretty quickly, so that's good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And I do like the look of the map a lot. There's a lot of different features with this map. You have islands, you have big water sources, you have mountains, you have hills. You have just about everything that you could need. And this is just the perfect starting tile. Like, you just have so much buildable area. You have water all around you. It's great. It's a good first map. I want to play on this again. I want to recreate one of my first cities. The second map is Cliffside Bay. Well, the highways start out pretty flat. There is not a big problem here. It is a little bit steep here, but it's not awful. Terrible interchange, of course. Then we come over this way in between a canyon. Jump over a railroad. That's a little bit steep on the edges there, but it's not terrible. And we leave. It's a little bit better than average. The railroad's a little bit bumpy over here. That's crazy. But overall, it's not bad. Gets a little bit steep on this side, which isn't great. The shipping route is pretty long. It goes around most of the area, so I think that's really good. It also even goes in here, which is a nice touch. And it comes around here. You can get shipping just about anywhere on this map. There's a lot of area to build airports, especially on the top of these. I think that's pretty cool. You can even build down here, but you have layers to this map. So you have options when it comes to airports. There's plenty of resources available. You can get farming and forestry right away in the first one. Ore is pretty close. Oil's a bit of ways, but it's actually pretty decent. I do like the look of the map. It's not my favorite looking map, but there's a lot of interesting features to this. It's just, I'm not a big fan of this map overall to play on, so I'm not gonna want to play on it. The third map is Diamond Coast. Highway started out pretty nice. It's a little bit bumpy, a little bit steep in this area. Not terrible. Get it over here, and it's pretty steep over there. Not great. It's getting progressively worse. The highways are not even the same type. That's kind of weird. That's strange. And that's bad. I hate this vanilla interchange. Let's go down this way. Maybe this way will be good. Vanilla interchange, disgusting. Blech. Come over this way. It's a bit bumpy. It's a bit gross. Not a fan of these highways. They're looking nasty. They're looking really gross. I don't want anything to do with these. That's atrocious. It's all just atrocious. Why am I even looking at these highways anymore? They're just not good. Did they at least redeem themselves on this one? No. No. That's bad. Railroads. Maybe they can redeem themselves. We're already off to a bumpy start. Bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. Let's go this way. Atrocious. Ew. Super duper steep. Holy smokes, we got a roller coaster up in here. Steep again over here. We got a roller coaster. Super bump. Holy hell. What in the hell is this? Terrible, that's what it is. I don't even need to look at the rest of the railroads. I don't even think there is anymore. I think that was it. That's atrocious. Don't want to see it again. Shipping is okay. It at least comes up in here, so that's a bit above average. You know, I would have figured this map would have been easy to make an airport on, but it's actually not as easy as you'd think. Yeah, you can flatten it out. Sure, it's not a big deal. That's great. But it's not as easy as you think it would be. So it's pretty average. Well, at least you can get plenty of resources. The one that you can't really get a whole lot of is farming, which is pretty strange. And you don't have a whole lot in your first tile, but you can get oil and forestry. And they are nearby, and you can get ore pretty nearby, so it's a little bit above average. But farming is lackluster in this one. So I dislike the look of this map. I don't know why, I'm just not a big fan of it. It feels kind of lazy, in my opinion. It just doesn't feel good. I don't want to play it. At all. The fourth map is Foggy Hills. Highway starts out pretty flat. That's always nice. It's always nice to know that it starts out great. Got a standard vanilla interchange, not a fan. Comes over this way. Does a terrible bridge over the railroad, but you know, whatever. That can't be awful, right? Terrible vanilla interchange, not great. Let's go this way. It's not bad. Jumping over the railroad again, I don't like that. Another vanilla interchange. Meh. Over here. It's fine. So far we're fine. It's just not good. Oh, wow. Oh. Alright. So, it was good. Until we got here. Oh my. Okay, yeah, that's not great. This railroad's pretty flat. So far. Well, it gets a little bumpy here. That's a bit steep. It's not great. I hate that. This one's not so bad. Well, at least they knew to keep it pretty flat over here. Good for them. Looks alright over here. Railroad's not great. Shipping pretty unimaginative, but there's not really a whole lot you can do there, so I get it. Well, there's not a whole lot you can do for airports here either, so transportation in general is just pretty rough. Well, there's plenty of resources available. You do have farming and forestry in the first one. You can get to oil pretty quickly, and ore is not too far off. So yeah, this is pretty good. I dislike the map very much. I am not a fan of this map. It's not the worst map I've ever seen, but it's not good by any means. Please don't make me play this. The fifth map is Grand Rivers. Well, the highway starts off bad. That's not promising at all. It's a little bit bumpy. It's really steep over here. Oh man, that sucks. Highways don't connect. That's annoying. They get a little bit bumpy over here. A little bit steep in places as well. That's not great. How about the other side? Bumpy, steep, not great. Bumpy and steep. Yeah, overall, highways are pretty average, not great. Railroads, they're bumpy. They're very bumpy. Holy smokes. Then they hop over the highways like that. That's kind of dumb. Bumpy, bumpy. Bumpy, bumpy. More bumps. So many bumps. So the shipping route only comes up into here. That's kind of lame. Oddly enough, I didn't think I'd have this much of a challenge building an airport in here. I mean, yeah, I can flatten out some of the area, but dang, I didn't think I'd actually have that much of a problem. So that's not great. There's no oil. And there's barely any farming where you are. This isn't great for resources. It's not bad because you have plenty of the other stuff, but it's not great. I dislike the look of this map. It's not a great looking map. I'm not a fan. I don't want to play it, but it's not the bottom of the list. The sixth map is Green Plains. Get a little bit of a bumpy highway to start off things. That's always a good sign, because it leads into a steep hill. Yes, because that's what always happens. It's a bit bumpy. Terrible vanilla interchange. Pretty decent bridge, not gonna lie. Another terrible vanilla interchange. Another terrible vanilla interchange. Gets a bit bumpy over here with a little bit of steepness here and there, but it's not terrible. Highway gets a little wonky over here. Not a big fan. Another terrible vanilla interchange. Gets a bit bumpy over here. It goes up the side of a mountain. And it goes down. It's pretty steep. Not a big fan of that. This doesn't look great. That's not even lined up nicely. How could they? It's not good. Maybe the railroads are better. Well, the railroad starts out nicely over here. That's good. Strange railroad interchange. Let's follow it. A bit steep here. Not the worst. A little bit steep in places. And jumping over like this is pretty dumb. I hate this. It's a bit bumpy over this way. It's getting pretty good over here. Yeah, I'm okay with that. A dumb interchange again. A little bit steep on this side. Not terrible. So many railroads here. It's a couple bumps over here, but it's not the worst. That's bumpy. Just a bunch of jumps over the highway. Overall, it's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's not great either, so it's pretty average. There's a shipping route in here, and I guess I'll give them points for making a shape here, or a letter, or whatever. I'll give them points for making a letter in here, the X, but otherwise it's pretty average. You can for sure get an airport in some places, but other places are going to be a lot more challenging to build one. So I'd say that's pretty average there as well. There's almost no resources in the starting tile, which kind of stinks. But you do have plenty of resources available, so it's not the end of the world. It's pretty average. I am a fan of the map. There's some nice elevation changes. It looks like they took their time with these mountain ridges. Pretty happy with that. The rivers come through here pretty nicely. They're not straight lines. I think they're pretty good. So yeah, I do like the look of the map. And I do kind of want to play on this map, but I'd need to make some modifications before I can do that. The winner of the 16th bracket of maps is Blackwoods. If you'd like to see which map wins this tournament, make sure you subscribe and tune in tomorrow to see the next episode. I wanted to take a minute to thank Grahtles for helping me rank all 82 maps. May God bless you and have a wonderful day.